In the previous episode, I covered a 30-hour period over November 5th and 6th as we passed the bottom of Madagascar in strong conditions and lots of shipping. Here we continue westwards towards our entry port of Richards Bay in South Africa, now entering the Mozambique Channel where conditions can be quite difficult.
Suddenly we have birds galore. Man, we've had very few birds for the longest time, and now they're just everywhere. A lot of them are young sooty terns, these black ones, but there's also tons of adults, and in the distance, far away, hundreds, I tell you, hundreds. Oh, amazing. And the predatory fish, I don't know what they are, but they are huge, leaping right out of the water. I only saw two of them, but man, I wouldn't want them to take my lures, just as I don't want these sooty terns to take my lures, but they're clever enough. They can figure out that it's not real. So above the calls, they tell you that they're around and that there's fish around. Meanwhile, the day has changed completely. Totally overcast, wind's almost gone, lumpy grey seas. I think we're getting ready for the next transition to the next system. Unfortunately, at least according to forecast, there's no wind in between. Oh man, this is ridiculous. In front of us, I'll be able to see it, but there's another humongous feeding frenzy. Another several hundred, probably mostly sooty terns. Ha! Well, it's good to see a lot of life in the Indian Ocean finally. There has not been a lot so far. Oh, the poor sails flapping around now. Gonna have to go on a beam reach just to get any wind into the sails. And, you know, 15 minutes ago I was on a raging downwind run with the full jib. Bizarre. And just like that, engine on. We are just banging around here, but right in front of us, another huge feeding frenzy. Oh, the feeding frenzy is reformed near us here, and there are splashes in the water. There are lots of predatory fish, hundreds upon hundreds of sooty terns, the two petrels. But it looks like they're not going to come my way. They don't look as big as the ones I saw just a few minutes ago. The fish, I mean. Ah, it's magnificent. It's so cool to see. I just wish they'd come closer. Oh, here's all the fish jumping. Oh, what a crazy day this has been. Man. We started off with the crazy night, strong winds. This morning we had full jib eventually, and just racing along on a broad reach. Then we hit a cloudy patch, which I don't know if it's related or something, but was where all the birds and the fish were. And I had to motor sail for an hour to get through that. And now we've had beautiful blue skies for about 2-3 hours. And it's the very tail end of the system. The wind is going around to the north. And so we are beam reaching now, going to head up, and because the sails are flopping as you can see in the swells, going to head up a little bit. But basically we're still going west, but we're going to run out of wind, have a light patch, motor through it, and then we're going to hit the front of the next system, which is going to be a southerly front. That's going to hit pretty hard, and unfortunately it's going to hit in the night. Oh man, oh man. Oh well, it is what it is. And we are totally surrounded by ships right now. I can't show you them. I can see 3 on the horizon, but they're too far away. I'll show you on the AIS. Oh, we are clearly still crossing the shipping lanes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of which at least 2, maybe 3 are potential problems. You can hear the sails banging here. I see some motoring in our future tonight. But we're going mostly west, which is good. We've just thinking, you hadn't seen any dolphins in a long time, let alone whales. And streaking across, coming towards us, were a couple of dolphins. Very nice. Right before the light goes. Got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay, we've got a whole bunch. Very nice. Ah, it's such a treat to see them again. This is the first on this entire passage. So here we go, right away. Let's go back. Pick up another one. Yeah. Oh man, they are so graceful. Now it's 2 a.m. on Thursday the 7th, and just changed or added oil to the engine. It's still leaking oil. And boy, I had these two ships, one that's gone one way, one going the other, right close to me. And I got a bunch more to avoid. I can't believe I'm still in these shipping lanes. Anyway, headed west to Richards Bay. It's 4 a.m. Thursday the 7th of November, and I'm motoring across a light wind patch here. No wind actually. Trying to get to the next weather system. Should be a strong southerly in a couple of hours. And this motor vessel, the Vestos 7, has been catching us for several hours. I set an alarm so I could sleep until now. And here it is, half a mile away. Talk to them, and I turn to port by 10 degrees, and he's going to go by me, no problem. Doing twice our speed, we're doing 5 knots, he's doing 11. All good.
By now we were well into the Mozambique Channel, about to get into our third weather system of the passage.
It's Thursday morning, November 7th at dawn, and we're very nearly done with the shipping issues. This one in front of us is no problem. The rest are going south and we're going west, so we should be good. Hooray, we survived. Yep, it's dawn, Thursday, November 7th. We survived the night, 10 hours of motoring, but we made it across the no wind zone. Now, a very nice gentle southerly. We're beating into it, and you can see the front. So it's going to hit us in about 15 minutes, half an hour. I have no idea how strong it's going to be. So right now I've got second reef in the jib in the main. I'm going to put it down to third reef just for caution at the storm sail. And I have the whole jib because we need the power, and it's still pretty light. But I'll be ready to furl like crazy if it really blows. We should ride this system for at least 2 days towards Richards Bay, and we have 500 miles to go. So if we can keep sailing more than 5 knots, we'll be there in 4 days, Monday. All right, this is the Mozambique Channel crossing that we're in now. Okay, we're into the front. So far so good. Triple reef main. You got the jib, a couple of turns on the furler before it gets crazy. And yeah, it's going to blow hard here. Should be fun. Here's hoping these are the last 2 ships of the shipping route. Alright, we haven't done this for a while. Bashing upwind. Oh yeah, it's rough stuff. And just came up from a nap for about an hour after last night's disrupted sleep as usual. And I noticed a seam at the top of the jib coming apart. So I quickly put another 5 turns on the furler. That's going to reduce our power a little bit. I think we'll be okay. Once things calm down, there's going to be a quiet section in 2 days' time. I'll get it down and try to re-stitch it. But meanwhile, we are blasting along. 5 to 7 knots, close reached. Alright, right, we are 4 hours into this now, and because the wind is backed from southwest to south, I'm now able to ease the sheets, continue going west, and we are therefore turn around and show the Windex. We're on a close reach, which is a favorite quarter sail with the sea change. There you see the top of the triple reefed main. There's a seam coming open there, but it's the extra piece that we put on, so it doesn't matter. And show you the crazy scene on my side here. Especially if I get my finger out of the way. Every now and again we manage to put the starboard gunnel into the water, and then it comes rushing down the side decks here. Not so much anymore because we're not heeling quite so hard. But yeah, storm jib is performing, as is of course the jib itself. It's just great sailing. Wow. And now the sun's come out. Even better. Oh, it's after lunch now, and yeah, conditions got really strong for a while. They're easing up now, thankfully. And I managed to get 2 more turns on the further in a little bit of a lull, which made the jib a lot happier. Man, you've just got to love this if you're a sailor. It is wild out here, and we are all in the mail on a close reach. 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 knots. When we bear off a little bit, like that. We've had clouds now for about an hour, but yet again, looks like it's going to clear up in front of us. And this whole system is turning and moving fast. So by the end of tonight, tomorrow morning, we will be almost at the end of it. It's amazing how quickly they're all going through. Anyway, I could not be happier. Sea Change is doing exactly what she's built for. So glad I bought a robust, strong blue water boat. I'm sitting in the companionway now, and just give you a sense of how hard pressed we are at times. It's not much more than 15-20 degrees at worst. It's not, 30-35, but it's still hard functioning like this. And you really can't work on any projects or do anything. It's just too crazy rough. Just moving around the boat and getting food is quite difficult. And now the sun has come out, and it's really windy. Wow. We are leaping and bounding around, and I'm taking a risk here with the phone because I'm getting quite a few splashes come right over the top of the Starjet. That's great fun. I just hope that Sea Change holds together. I'm sure she will, but whee! Lordy God. And this is going to go on for several more hours before it eases. So, yeah. That's what we came for. That's what we signed up for. You can't have... You can't have easy sailing all the time. And we come up this fairly big wave and then down. Still, it's all manageable as long as the sails don't tear and the rig doesn't fall down. I shouldn't talk about stuff like that.
Just got to love doing 6 knots, close hauled in the right direction.
Meanwhile, down here in the cabin is incredibly noisy. Fair amount of chaos reigns. But yeah, that's my bunk. Be nice and comfortable tonight. But here's the weird thing. Every time we go upwind hard like this, a bunch of water accumulates here on the cabin floor and the sole. I have no idea where it comes from. I sponge it up periodically. Yeah. Anyway, no big deal. It wasn't that hard to figure out where the water was coming from. Always known this porthole leaked. That's why there's a bucket underneath it. But man, it is pouring through that. Man, oh man. Anyway, it all goes down on the floor and I mop it up. Alright, it's getting pretty crazy now. We are still hanging in here. Haven't broken anything yet. But man, is it fierce. They just leap off waves and crash on the other side. Yeah, it's wild. Wild.
Here's a clip with the wind noise suppressed by my voiceover. While I love this kind of sailing, it is somewhat nerve-wracking given the 35-year-old age of the rest of my standing rigging, apart from the new wires I bought in Fiji the year before.
It's Friday morning, 8th of November. That was a wild night. But we survived. Sea change is intact. We're still doing 5 to 7 knots headed west. On AIS, I noticed this guy from 12 miles out. And then the alarm sounded a few minutes ago. And we're missing each other by a mile. Which is good. Called him up just to be sure. Anyway, yeah, man, that was quite the weather system, and we've still got the tail end of it here for another day. No, it's mid-morning on Friday the 8th of November. We have another gorgeous day. Wow, really amazingly lucky with the weather. And so we're just rolling along here. This is the back side of the system now. They only last for 2 days. Still got the same sail setup, triple reef main, the storm jib, and the jib, unfortunately, has a seam that is opening up right at the top, and so I have to have it full. But we'll have a light patch coming up when this whole system ends and the next one starts forming, and in that light patch I should be able to fix the seam so we have the full jib. Otherwise I'll put up the Genoa or the spare staysail that's on a furler. Just look at the water. Wow, the sky. God, it's gorgeous. Anyway, we're halfway across the Mozambique Channel. 330 miles to go to Richards Bay. It's due west of us. We're pretty much sailing straight at it. Cool.
As shown on the chart here, and by the next morning the wind had backed around to the east.
Oh. That was, despite 2 ships, a very good night's sleep. Now it's Saturday, November the 9th, and I woke up to this. We are charging along. Absolutely ripping. Under these new clouds, look at that, beautiful. Steely grey, but it's brand new wind, brand new seas. So it's flat, fast, doing 7.5 knots. And we're not going the right direction, but that'll get sorted out. The wind's going to crank around to the north. Alright, 2 more days to Richards Bay.
The The final approach to Richards Bay can be extremely rough if a southwest buster comes through against the south-flowing Mozambique current, with even my chart warning of abnormal waves. And the forecast was for us to encounter a southwester the next day, but it was not supposed to be strong. An additional complication was a bizarre anti-clockwise vortex of strong current, which I was too far south of to go around the north favorable side, as most others did. So I tried to go underneath it in anticipation of the southwester, which sort of worked out.
And here we go. This is Saturday, so it's second to last day. This weekend will get us there by Monday morning early. And we have following winds now from the east, so we're running almost dead downwind. We'll go around to the northeast and then the north, and we'll just move the sails a little bit, but I've even put the main away. I don't think we will need it again. We've got the wounded jib out to the left. It's about half, maybe a little more than half out. And we have the good old storm jib pulled out to starboard. Nice stable setup, if a little rolly at times, like that. Well, that's not a bad roll at all. But this should get us in. We're doing 45 knots. We have 240 miles to go. So that should get us in sometime Monday morning, which is excellent. All right, I'm a happy guy. Well, that didn't last long. The new forecast came in and calls for a light patch tomorrow. So I figured, no, we better use this wind while we have it. So up with the triple reef main, we still got the storm to about to pour starboard. That's really stabilizing a broad reach, and half the jib up the front because of the seam that's opening up near the top. Can't afford to have it tear. Yeah, it's an unusual day for us. It's overcast all day. It's like, no, New Zealand last time we had that. Anyway, it's all good.
This massive Maersk container ship was coming straight at us at 20 miles out, doing 15 knots to our 5, so closed fairly quickly. So I called it 10 miles out, and he agreed to turn slightly to port, and I turned slightly to port, and he passed about a half mile away. That's how it should work. I was curious about the red flashing light on his stern, and he said it was because he was carrying hazardous materials. I hoped that would be the last ship for the night, and I could sleep well for a change. The next episode is the fourth and final part of this 14-day-long passage to South Africa, arriving in Richards Bay, but not without some more drama of the sailing kind this time.